Well, hello there, and welcome back to the Mara Project. Mara Chua here, and welcome to another episode of my book review and book recommendation series called Baby Reviews Books. So, as always, the official blog post of this video will be available in the link in the description below if you guys want to read alongside me or if you need a transcript for this video. So, excuse my voice, I might be a bit softer than usual
because I went out on a date.
with somebody yesterday. Hi, Jerome. And we went to a karaoke machine. We were just singing and destroying the machine, and we were also dying of laughter playing games. We were at the arcade. We went window shopping for books. So I probably have like a new bucket list coming real soon. But I have a thesis to work on. And yeah, so I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of drained. It's totally fine. So for today's episode, we will be tackling a classic novel called The Secret Garden by how do I feel like I'm gonna butcher these names again. Francis Hodgson Burnett. I'm just gonna say Francis Burnett. So I first heard of The Secret Garden in like the adult coloring books that I used to find in the bookstores. Like I used to have one of those as well when I was younger, except I don't know if I got the Secret Garden one in particular, but I actually did not even know that it was based off a novel. I just thought that, oh, maybe it's the theme of the coloring books or something. So yeah. Excuse the attire. I decided to just like wear my regular lounge wear, I guess. I don't know how you call it. PJs, whatever. And because it's a rest day for me, I was like, I don't need the effort to like dress up on camera as long as I still look presentable. Also, it would have been funnier if I filmed this commentary for The Secret Garden at like the actual garden, but it's too hot outside, so I would just prefer the comfort of my own room as always. And I decided to film again during daytime because filming at night just means that I'm extra tired, and also it's morning. Like, come on, gardens are best appreciated in the morning, so I guess this will make do. So let us begin. Have you always wanted to escape into a world of your own? What if you could shape that world in your own hands? Our protagonist, Mary Lennox, discovers a mysterious and beautiful garden hidden behind her uncle's mansion in this well-loved children's classic. So Mary is a sickly and unloved girl, her skin described as yellow, her appearance and personality as peculiar, especially from the teasing of children around her. So I think it was the second chapter of the book, wherein a bunch of kids have made up this rhyme about her, or this chant. It's called Mistress Mary Quite Contrary. Mistress Mary Quite Contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells and marigolds all in a row. It's meant to be like a chant to mock her, I guess. So her parents have also passed away from cholera in India, and she was just forced to live with her distant uncle Archibald in a manor located in Yorkshire. The manor is also kind of eerie, it's gloomy, it's kind of abandoned at this point until Mary finds the manor's neglected garden, and it is through her experiences in... Okay, I'm probably also gonna butcher this name. Misselthwaite Manor that she grows to become a better person or a better version of herself. So Mary's parents, she never really saw much. Her father was a captain, Mary was often placed under the care of others, and they could not even look after her due to her bad behavior. This is something I could perhaps compare to the modern generation of parentless, or usually the fatherless children today who behave in toxic and obnoxious ways, especially on social media. But of course, because this was published in the 1900s, even though it's not implied what time period the story takes place in, sorry, there's something in my eye. I guess the comparison was just a thought, and I can't really blame Mary because, she's barely even 12 years of age. So she lost her parents, and the entire household was kind of Thanos-snapped due to a cholera outbreak, leaving her as the only survivor, despite being a sickly child herself. At first, she was cared for by some soldiers, until she was sent to live with Mr. Archibald in Yorkshire. Her uncle initially isn't as good as he'd appear. He was also gloomy and miserable, he was grumpy and cynical, ever since the death of his wife about 10 years ago. Once Mary settles in, she finds finds out about her uncle's secret garden from one of his servants, Miss Martha, which belonged to Mary's late aunt, who's Archibald's wife. Archibald, I don't know. After her passing, Archibald abandoned the garden and locked it up, even burying its key. The search for the secret garden sparks interest and curiosity in Mary, leaving her busy for once with something in her new home. The garden also becomes its own key to Mary's change in character, allowing her to become a more optimistic and healthier person. Through the aid of the gardener, Ben Weatherstaff, Mary goes for the search for the garden alongside Martha and Mary's new friend, Deacon Sowerby. Her curiosity further grows when she followed the sounds of what was somebody crying, and a little robin, which was a talking robin for some reason. A new robin friend of hers also helps her draw attention to the key to the garden, and Mary discovers a neglected landscape, which she soon devotes her time to restoring with Deacon's help, because Deacon's kind of like really good in gardening, good in nature. He's kind of like the male equivalent of Snow White, I guess. One night, Mary goes back searching for the source of the cries despite warnings from the manor's head staff, Mrs. Medlock. And the cries belong to COVID? Why did I say COVID? Sorry. Colin Craven. Sorry, I was laughing too much. So Colin Craven, I'll just say Craven for the sake of this video, an invalid son who was disowned by his father after his mother's death. All because Colin's sickly state kind of reminds Archibald of like his late wife. As far as I remember, Colin is bedridden and frail, but also spoiled, kind of like Mary, so much that he and Mary became besties. But he was also kind of sad because he wanted Mary's attention a lot, even if she preferred to hang out with Deacon, because I don't know, there's like this dynamic between the friends or the friendship, like this one good person, this one bad influence. So this dynamic was also kind of like a soap opera, but these are children, so no need for drama llamas. And also it's later revealed that Colin is Mary's cousin. So as goofy I actually wrote goofy Colin could be, and overly dramatic too, he's like me for real. Mary does her best to understand her new friend better and be their first aid. With Deacon's help again, she brings Colin into the secret garden for some fresh air. Pun intended, until they're caught by Mr. Weatherstaff. He recognizes Colin, and when he asks the boy one time about his condition and even refers to Colin as a poor cripple, it infuriates him, and suddenly for the very first time, he is able to stand up straight on his own 2 feet, shocking everyone for plot twist and plot purposes. And this allows for growth and change in Colin as he becomes a better person thanks to the miracle that happened in the garden. You guys have heard of Miracle in Cell Number 7, but have you preferred Miracle in Secret Garden? However, the kids choose to keep Colin's recovery a secret as a means of surprising his father should he return. Mary, Deacon, Colin, and Ben spend their summer days in the garden together, taking turns restoring it to its full glory. Deacon's mother, Susan Sowerby, joins in on the fun as well and tries to keep in touch with Colin's father, suggesting he makes it home but keeps Colin's recovery a secret, until Mr. Craven makes it home and he steps into the secret garden, and finally, as Colin runs towards him, the father and son duo are reunited and reconciled, further spreading out the miracles of the now not so secret garden. So the novel, although this is around like almost 300 pages long, their ending is just, father and son reconciling and Mary just becoming a nicer and happier person. Throughout the novel, it's also seen and revealed that Colin reunites with his lost cousin, Mary, and it is through Mary's persistence in bringing back the garden that it helps her strengthen her own relationships with the only ever family she has left, as well as find joy in the littlest of things like finally making a friend, gardening, speaking to animals, and need I say more? This girl is basically like a Disney princess. Mary's meeting with Colin is extremely good for him because she's bold enough, or the audacity of this little kid, to contradict him when he says that he's going to become a hunchback and die an early death. It is essential that he has his negative thoughts contradicted so that positive ones may be put in their place. Raised in colonial India by indifferent parents who left her in the care of servants, Mary first grew up with a sense of entitlement and a lack of affection, which results in her being imperious and disagreeable. # the fatherless TikToker behavior, I guess, but it's a kid. Upon Mary's arrival at the manor in Yorkshire, she initially continues her bratty behavior, struggling to adapt to her new surroundings and the colder, harsher climate. Mind you, she was from India. However, the change of the environment and the novel's depiction of the Yorkshire moors begin to influence her. As Mary starts to explore the manor and its grounds, she discovers the hidden and neglected garden. The process of reviving the garden sparks a transformation in Mary, who gradually becomes more curious, engaged, and compassionate. Her friendship with Dickon and her efforts to help her cousin Colin further soften her disposition and reveal a kinder and more empathetic side of her. And I think that's beautiful. Mary's character development also reminds me of that of Piper Bellinger. Hopefully I got the name right. From Tessa Bailey's adult novel, It Happened One Summer, in which a Los Angeles grown spoiled young woman and an entitled influencer at that, who also has the reputation of a wild child and even ended up getting jailed one night, is sent with her sister to live in a fishing town where she meets a handsome sea captain who teaches her to live a little and enjoy the simpler things in life, further drawing Piper's heart to her newfound small town. So this was also a really good novel. I enjoyed this, except it's so different compared to The Secret Garden, because The Secret Garden is a children's book, and then here is an adult novel with a lot of crazy scenes. So children who are watching this, please do not read this book unless you're old enough. Yeah, but it's really reminiscent of Piper's character, because these are children or just spoiled entitled brats that are feeling like they could get whatever they want, but when things don't go their way, they learn a really important lesson. Personally, I might even relate to Mary and Piper in terms a little of being raised and spoiled endlessly, especially in my childhood. There were times that when things did not go my way, I used to behave like a spoiled wild child. I would throw tantrums until my perspectives changed when I started my college years and met a lot of wonderful people from all walks of life who each taught me how to enjoy the sweeter and smaller things in life, from learning how to commute, take long fine walks together in the streets, eating street food, to starting to care more for the environment and our lovely animal friends too. In my campus, we have a lot of cats and dogs that there's actually a Facebook page we follow that's dedicated to taking good care and fostering these animals, especially the cats. I feel like it wasn't just the Secret Garden's miracles that allowed for Mary's transformation, but it was also meeting the right kinds of people for her, like Dickon, Ben, Colin, and later her uncle Archibald. As the story progresses, Colin undergoes a remarkable transformation. With Mary's encouragement and the healing influence of the garden, Colin begins to venture outside and he experiences the rejuvenating power of nature. This newfound exposure to the garden and the friendship he develops with Mary and Dickon help him overcome his fears and self-imposed limitations. He gradually becomes stronger, more confident, and optimistic about his future. By the end of the novel, Colin is a completely changed character. He sheds his former pessimism and fragile state, emerging as a spirited and healthy boy. His transformation is a testament to the novel's themes of healing, personal growth, and the power of positive thinking. And we love a good character development as well, alongside Mary's. Meanwhile, for Dickon, who was raised in the Yorkshire moors, he possesses an innate connection with the natural world, which he understands and tends to with an almost magical touch. His affinity with animals and plants is evident in the way he can charm birds, tame wild creatures, and coax life back into neglected spaces. So I guess he's also a Disney princess at most? Despite his humble background, Dickon exudes a quiet confidence and maturity, providing a stark contrast to the spoiled and sheltered lives of Mary and Colin. He becomes a crucial friend and mentor, guiding them in their efforts to rejuvenate the secret garden and in turn, help them to heal and grow. Lastly, the garden as a whole represents renewal, healing, growth, and discovery. Discoveries allow for us to learn new things, much like Mary and her companions did throughout the novel. The secret of the garden, as well as learn new things about each other and themselves. The secret garden, being restored to its beauty, represents renewal. And lastly, it served as a symbol of hope and healing, where the power of miracles and magic took its place as it impacted the lives of Mary and her friends. This book was wholesome and sweet to read, aside from it being a children's classic. It's rare for me to find stories, especially classics, with younger characters, though I've heard of Anne of Green Gables, or Gables, or in Charlotte's Web. I could always give those other stories a read in the future, but I'd like to believe that Burnett's novel doesn't just target children as its reader demographic, but it's also meant to be for everyone who feels lost, hopeless, or perhaps in need to find themselves again. And The Secret Garden is one of those books that'll make you believe in the power of miracles and following your dreams, your heart, and satisfying that curiosity. You'll never know what diamonds in the rough you'll find, or a talking robin, who knows? I hope you enjoyed reading this novel as much as I did. I love working on my classics commentary series a lot, especially since I'm exploring other genres now. Though lately I've been having a romance craving again. Whatever it is, you guys know the drill. Once I pick up a book that's really good, you know I'll be writing about it. So, see you in the next blog post. As always, a big thank you to SparkNotes, my beloved, for helping me summarize and look into this book. So, if you guys are interested, you may check out the other episodes as well of Baby Reviews Books or on my book blog, in which I also have a series called The Classics Commentary, in which I tackle classics, as the title suggests. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Mara Chua signing out. This is the Mara Project. Peace!